morning. I've had a lovely lady has commissioned me to paint 2 paintings for her. She's already had one of the lovely ones with my poppies on. So because I need to do 2 paintings which are going to be like compatible with each other for her house, I don't want to just go ahead and start painting. I want to plan and prepare. So I've got this lovely book, what my grandson bought me. It's a pack of books which are especially for watercolours. So for example, when I practiced my birthday cards, I wanted to get my flowers right, so I practiced all my colours on here on the book. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually penning I'm using pencil to do 2 comparable pictures, but the reason I'm doing this is I want to practice the colours, because I want to practice my backgrounds. Of course, this is much smaller than the picture I'm going to do, but I need to make sure I know what colours will work best, because it's going to be mainly cherry blossom, but one picture is going to be a little bit slightly special, and the other one is still going to be a nice picture, but it's going to be complementing the important picture. So what I need to do is mix up some colours to have as background, just so I know it's got the richness. But because it's going to be cherry blossoms, I really need to work out what colour is best for my cherry blossoms. So that is the main reason for this practice run, because I don't want to make a mistake and not have the proper pink of cherry blossoms. When I do acrylics, it's easy to get that colour because I can actually get it perfectly. But when it's not, you know, acrylics, when you are using watercolours, of course, I'm going to just practice some of these little colours first, because I'm thinking that this pink here would be the lovely pink. But of course, it wouldn't only be that colour pink. So I'm going to try and do like a little mixture of the pinks together, because until I get to know whether or not I like those colours, I wouldn't want to start on the proper picture, because the picture will take me quite a while to do, but it is very important to have the colours. Now, so far, I'm thinking I have got the right colour. Combination of the 2 pinks will be absolutely perfect. But I'm going to, so I'm going to keep that one ready on the left, because I know now that that will be the colour I want. But I want to have a little bit of a Chinesey effect. I want this one picture on this side to have like the element of like a Japanese sort of feel to it. So I really need sort of like a wash to be in the background. But I was thinking, I don't want anything too dark. So I wonder whether or not I use a little tiny bit of my favourite, which is sort of like a bronze. It's my favourite paint out of all the paints I've got. I'll mix it up in my palette, just because I want it very, very wet, because I wouldn't want it to be, yeah, that's a lovely colour. Bearing in mind we're going to have black branches. So this here is like a bronze, but it's got a glitter to it. So when it's watered down and used as a wash, it just has like a little shimmer. So what I'm going to try and do and see whether or not that can be used as a background on there. Of course, when I go to do the proper picture, I will be using a much wider brush, but this is just to see whether or not that colour will be sufficient for the background. Just to have a little, you know, just to give a little bit of a pop to the flowers, because I will be using a lot of the white of the paper, but this picture is going to have a black mount. So because it's having a black mount, it just needs that little bit more colour. And let's have a little look at that. Yeah, I think that colour as a background will be, and then if I use some of that colour in the matching picture. Right, so as you're seeing there, I'll get it a little bit nearer. So of course you've got like a really nice sort of like peachy gold shimmer to it. So I'm happy with that. So the next important thing will be whether to go black or grey for the actual branches. Do we want them to pop right out, or do we want it to be a little bit more subtle? So what I shall do is I shall try the grey black on one stem just to go down. The grey black, the grey, that has a shimmer to it as well, and that is that colour. Okie dokie. Let's have a little look. So that is a shimmery grey rather than a black, and that is quite good for the depth on there. Or do we want it to pop right out, or do we only do a couple of bits at the front with the poppy and black? Oh right, yes. I think it will be a combination. So now I have got my practice colours, so I know I can actually start thinking about my picture, my two pictures, to make sure they're close enough. But my practice, I will be definitely using the 2 to 3 colours of the pinks, what I've actually chosen from my round circular paints from Amazon, and I'll be using possibly a few little bits of glitter at the end on there, and maybe using the gorgeous black from the Winsor and Newton set, because this still has a little tiny bit of glimmer on it, and all these new gloss paints from Winsor and Newton are amazing and make such a huge difference. Right then, well, thank you for watching. I've actually done my practice colours, so now I'm going to be doing, at least I'm going to have a go at the undercoat of the first painting. This will probably take a week because I need to build it. Okay then, thanks very much for watching. Enjoy seeing the finished results.